Hello. So today I'm going to do a little tutorial on how to use Algebra Tiles. Here you can see that I'm using CPM, which is a great resource. Uh, they have you have access to a lot of different tools here. If you wanted to make something using a grid, dot grid, expression mat, equation mats 1 and 2, comparison mats, or a corner piece. Now, this tutorial is specifically about how to use algebra tiles online. So I'm going to use corner piece. You could use equation mat for some things, but right now we're just trying to talk about uh, setting up or factoring using algebra tiles. So there is a tab for algebra tiles. There are a lot of different tabs here. The other one that we are definitely going to be using is the tab for text box. So I could put a text box in here, just drag and drop. So what I'm going to do, I already had typed out a equation or an expression rather, using the caret to denote an exponent. We're doing an example with a equaling 1 or having a leading coefficient of only 1. Here we have x squared plus x minus 6. So using this, we're going to create here, it automatically comes with the tiles labeled as x and y, and they have an x times y for this. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up our tiles. So you just set up an x squared, you have a single x here, and you have minus 6 for your constants, your constant term, your C term, if you were to look at it that way. All right, so here we only have this. Now, for the 6, we are going to need to find the proper relationship. So which factors we're going to be using. So our factors for 6 are 1 and 6 and 2 comma 3. Those are our options. So I put in a 2 by 3 array here just to make it easy for me placing it. But we need to find an arrangement that will give us a negative 6 and a plus 3. So these all have a plus or minus. Now, something neat about this is if you click on the number inside these, or if you click on the variable inside of your XY boxes, it'll make it negative, or it'll make it the opposite of what it was previously. And if you double click, it'll change the orientation. So what we're going to do, considering this, we need to find a combination that will multiply to negative 6 but add up to a positive 1. So if we have the way that this is laid out right now, we have a 3 by 2. So we have a positive 2 in one direction and a negative 3 on the other, or a positive 3 and a negative 2. If you were to add them together, which combination gives you a positive 1 for a coefficient for the x? It would be a positive 3 and a negative 2. So what we're going to do, turn this. We have 1 here. Going to turn this again. 2, 3. Going that way. All right. Now we're going to take 2 going this way, but these are going to be negative. And then what I'm going to do, see if I can move off. Yep. You click this in right here. Just going to lock them in. And then what you can do, now that we have this all laid out, we can actually make our original factored values. So here we have an x going that way. We know we have an x going this way. And then you can plug in your constant term. So this way it's a 3. And this way is a negative 2, since all those ones were negative. Given that information, I'm going to make text box over here stating my factored terms. So you have x plus 3 on our vertical axis, and then you have x minus 2 on your horizontal axis. Now you could actually work the other way too, and you can check. So x times x gives you this x squared. X times 3 gives you a positive 3x. X times negative 2 gives you a negative 2x. And then negative 2 times positive 3 gives you negative 6. So if we were to have, this is a basic trinomial. So let's try one that involves our y, x and y as well. So let's say we have x squared minus 3xy plus 2y squared. So, given the information that we have, we know that the x's are positive. Well, let's actually lay out our initial relationship here. So we have x squared, we have negative 3xy, so we're going to put 3 of these in here. All right, and then we have 2y squared, and they're positive. And those are all of our parts. So now we need to arrange these in a way that it makes sense. Now we have our relationship here. We need 1 and 2. And that's it. Those are the only options that we have for that. But we have a plus or minus. So minus for that. Plus or minus 1 and plus or minus 2 are our options for our y value. So we know that one direction is going to be, well, they're going to be both the same sign because this ends with a plus 2y squared. So we're going to have, all of them are going to be negative, or they're all going to be positive. So we know we're going to have a 2 in one direction, a 1 in the other direction, and we're going to have an x in each direction. So no matter what, we're going to have that there. And we can line these up, but these are going to have to be negative in order for them to add up to a negative over there. So now we just got to put our values in the right place and make sure they're rotated the right direction. And then just plug that in. All right, so now we can factor that out. We have x minus 2y and x minus y. So if we were to, again, put our factored thing in the text box over here, x minus 2y, and then x minus y. If you need the visualization like this, then this could be very useful. So we know that negative y times negative y gives you positive y squared. Negative y times negative y is positive y squared. Adding those together, you get 2y squared. You have 3 negative xy here, and then you have a positive x squared. So, hope you found this informative. There are other tools in here as well. There's area and perimeter. Um, you have number lines you can create for inequalities. You could solve them that way. Base 10 blocks. Again, algebra tiles. And you can use various backgrounds for this. We could do an equation mat for solving an equation. They have two different versions of that, and then you have the expression mat, which you could use for simplification. All right, well, thank you for tuning in for this lesson. Have a great day.